Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, and today I'm going to be talking about the North Carolina Tar Heels 2020 football schedule. North Carolina last year went 7-6. They won their bowl game against Temple, 6-6 overall in the regular season. Despite their record, though, they were clearly a much better football team than the record suggests. They were pretty good. They gave a lot of tough competitions to teams they lost to, including Clemson. They only lost by 1 point. They nearly won. They just had a failed 2-point conversion. So they had a lot of games that were close. Some games that they probably should have won that they ended up falling short in. So they were a pretty good football team last year despite their average record. I'm going to be breaking down the Tar Heels 2020 schedule, and I really think they're going to be a pretty good football team next season. I'm really high on them. Their offense should be great next year. A lot of it's returning the production. Sam Howell, most notably at the quarterback position, he's going to be returning. The defense, a little bit weaker, but still should be okay overall. And you've got a great coaching staff, obviously, with Mac Brown. And a few years, you look at the recruiting classes, especially in 2021 for UNC, it's a top 5 recruiting class. I think they could be a playoff contender in a few years. So UNC's definitely on the rise, maybe making, a little slowly like Clemson did, making a rise to dominance. But right now, they're still, they still have a lot of improvement to do, but they're led by a great coach. So I decided I would break down this schedule, start from 1, end at 13, and I'll give my overall record prediction at the end of the video. Number 1, at UCF. Interesting game right off the bat on a Friday night. First Friday of the season. It's on week 1. I'll be watching this game. It should be an exciting one. A program that's been great lately in the group of 5, UCF, that's won a New Year's Six Bowl in the Peach Bowl. That was a big win for them, and that's made the Fiesta Bowl. So they're a pretty good football team. Despite having a down year last year, their losses were close, and mainly the reason they had a couple losses was because of the fact they were kind of inexperienced in certain positions on offense, most notably the quarterback position. I think they're going to be better next year. You look at UNC, though, they'll also be better next year. So it's going to be a great matchup. I think it'll be fun. I do give the edge to UNC, though. They have a better offense and a better coaching staff. So I'm taking the Tar Heels in this one, but it could be close. 2, Auburn. UNC's out-of-conference schedule is absolutely great. It's fantastic. Auburn should be definitely a challenge. I think they're going to be a good team next year. Probably a 9-3 team in the SEC, a top 10 recruiting class. Coaching-wise, I would definitely take Mac Brown over Gus Malzahn, but it's not all about coaching. You look at the talent. UNC, like I said, has great talent, but Auburn's is a lot better, especially the recruiting class. But even after that, Bo Nix, he's going to be more experienced. Their defense should be fine. They have plenty of weapons. So I think they're going to be a good football team next year. I think UNC could give them a run for the money. It's going to be close, but I'm taking the Tigers to win here. So Auburn wins in week 2. 3, James Madison. James Madison lost the FCS championship last year, so they made it pretty far. So, don't underestimate them. I'm taking UNC, of course, but they could give them a challenge. 4, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a terrible ACC team. Absolutely no shot whatsoever. Number 5, at Virginia. Virginia won the ACC Coastal last year, so they were pretty good last year. They made it to the Orange Bowl overall, barely lost to Florida. It was a pretty good season for them. 5 losses, but still, they made the ACC championship in the Orange Bowl, which is something to be happy about. So it was a good season. This upcoming season, though, even though it's at Virginia, I don't think Virginia is going to be very good next year, so I think UNC wins this one. It could be close, but I don't expect Virginia to be very good next year, so I'm taking UNC. Virginia Tech, biggest game this season by far. Virginia Tech is definitely going to be right up there with UNC in the ACC Coastal race. These are going to be the 2 best teams in the Coastal. So it's the biggest game of UNC's season by far. The winner's going to control their own destiny and make the ACC championship game to play Clemson. It's a very big game for these 2 programs. Last year, the game was great. It went to a few overtimes, I believe. I think Virginia Tech slightly won against UNC. Virginia Tech overall was the better team last year, but I think UNC's definitely had a bigger improvement through the offseason. I think it'll be close again. It's a home game for UNC. I'm taking the Tar Heels to win this one. 7, at Duke. This is not basketball, so this will not be a primetime game or a Saturday night game. Don't expect it to be. Duke is not a good football program. UNC usually is not a good football program, but they will be soon. I'm taking UNC by quite a few scores to win this one. 8 at Miami. All right, so one would think Miami, with how they did last year, Miami definitely would be an easy win for UNC. But I honestly think Miami's going to be decent next year. I think they're going to be an 8-win team. I think they're going to have a couple of losses in the ACC that take them out of the race to win the Coastal. But I think they're at least going to be better. They have a great defense, as always. They have a great defense. That's why the turnover chain's there. So that's good. They're getting De'Ara King at the quarterback position through the transfer portal, which definitely helps because you look at their offense last year, it was a terrible offensive line, and the quarterback position, they had an inexperienced quarterback, and at least a couple of inexperienced quarterbacks. So it definitely helps now that they're going to have De'Ara King, probably a guy who can scramble as well, which helps considering their offensive line was pretty weak last year. And it probably won't be too much better this upcoming season. So Miami's going to be better. It's at Miami. Not a tough place to play, but still, it's an away game for UNC nonetheless. We'll see how this one goes. I don't like Manny Diaz as the coach, but Ed Reed's there as chief of staff, and he might get involved, and that always helps. He's a legend there. People love him there. So I think Miami's going to be better next year. I'm taking Miami in a close one. 9 bye week. I'm sure UNC would have loved to have a bye week, between like Virginia and Virginia Tech, or between Virginia Tech and Duke, or Duke and Miami. The bye week comes kind of late, and the rest of the season is not too hard. UConn, guaranteed win, easiest game on the schedule. Pittsburgh, close last year. I believe Pittsburgh actually won, but that was at Pittsburgh. It's at UNC this time. Pittsburgh, I think, is going to be worse than they were last year. UNC is going to be a lot better. I'll take UNC here by a couple scores. 12 at Boston College. I like the Eagles. They're my second favorite team. I hope they win, but they're not going to because you look at their talent, losing A.J. Dillon, a star running back, that's going to hurt. They just lost a quarterback to Oregon through the transfer portal. That's going to hurt a lot. The coaching staff definitely improved with Jeff Hafley and a few other coordinators coming in from Ohio State. But still, if you don't have talent, it doesn't matter how great your coaches are if you have no talent. So I'm taking UNC to win here. Playing at Boston College that late in the season, is not an easy place to play. There could be snow here. So, maybe if there's snow, Boston College can somehow maybe be a trap game for UNC, but I would take UNC here. NC State shouldn't be that much of a problem. They're a good couple years ago. They're not very good right now. They were terrible last year, so I have UNC winning this. So overall, I have the Tar Heels finishing at 10-2. I think that's pretty good. Listen, this could be the team that I laugh at myself for doing so good. That was Nebraska last year and Texas last year. I had them doing really good, and they weren't so good. So this is definitely a team that I'm overhyping quite a lot. But I really think with their schedule and their talent and their coaching, they should be a pretty good football team next yeyear. Maybe 9-3. I would say 9-3 or 10-2. I think they're going to win the Coastal. I think they're going to play Clemson in the ACC championship game. I think overall they should be a pretty good football team. So I have them at 10-2. I might laugh at myself after the season for having them being so good. But right now I have them at 10-2. You just look at their schedule; it's definitely manageable. I think they'll represent the Coastal in the ACC championship game, and I would love to see a rematch between UNC and Clemson. It probably could be a close game again, a great coaching battle. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thank you for joining in. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and check out all my other videos.